Alexander Alex Blackwood stood in his perfectly tailored suit before the family court entrance, his Italian leather shoes gleaming in the morning sun. At 45, he had built Blackwood Technologies into a billion-dollar empire, but today he faced something his money couldn't easily fix: public shame. Mr. Blackwood, his attorney, Rachel Martinez, touched his arm. "Remember what we discussed. Let me do the talking. This is already sensitive enough without me explaining why an 8-year-old boy is impossible to handle." Alex's voice carried an edge of bitter defensiveness. "The agency misrepresented him, Rachel. They said he was well-adjusted, calm, good with structure. Instead, I got a child," Rachel finished quietly. "You got a child, Alex, with all the complexities that entails." Inside the courtroom, Judge Elena Santos watched the proceedings with dark eyes that had seen too many families torn apart. At 62, she had earned a reputation for wisdom tempered with compassion, but today's case tested even her extensive experience. In the matter of the dissolution of adoption, case number 2024 FAM 1284, Blackwood v. New Hope Adoption Services, the clerk announced. Regarding the minor child, Noah Wilson, age 8. The small boy sat beside his court-appointed guardian ad litem, Sophia Chen. Noah's clothes were new and expensive, clearly chosen by Alex's staff, but he wore them like armor, his thin shoulders rigid with tension. His dark eyes darted between the adults who were deciding his fate, and his small hands clutched a worn backpack. "Your Honor," Rachel began, "Mr. Blackwood entered into this adoption with the best intentions, but there were material misrepresentations about the child's background and behavioral needs." Objection. Catherine O'Neill, the adoption agency's attorney, stood. New Hope provided all available information about Noah's history. Mr. Blackwood's expectations of immediate perfect adjustment are unrealistic and show a fundamental misunderstanding of adoption. Judge Santos held up her hand. "Ms. O'Neill, I'll hear your arguments in turn. Continue, Ms. Martinez." Rachel nodded. In the 3 months since placement, Noah has demonstrated severe attachment issues, disrupted Mr. Blackwood's household and business operations, and shown an inability to adapt to the structure necessary in my client's lifestyle. From his seat, Noah flinched at each word as if they were physical blows. Sophia Chen placed a gentle hand on his shoulder, but he shrugged it off, clutching his backpack tighter. "Would your client care to elaborate?" Judge Santos asked, her gaze fixed on Alex. Alex stood, straightening his tie. "Your Honor, I run a global technology company. I have responsibilities to thousands of employees and shareholders. I believed I could provide a good home for a child who needed one, but Noah's behavior makes that impossible." "What specific behaviors are we discussing?" "He refuses to sleep in his room. I found him hiding in closets, under furniture. He hoards food, even though he's told repeatedly that there's plenty available. He disrupted an important board meeting by pulling the fire alarm. He's been caught trying to access restricted areas of my office building multiple times." "And these behaviors weren't disclosed in his file?" "Not to this extent," Alex insisted. "I was told he was shy but adaptable. Instead, he's completely unmanageable." Judge Santos turned to Sophia Chen. "Ms. Chen, as Noah's guardian ad litem, what are your observations?" Sophia stood, her young face serious. "Your Honor, I've spent considerable time with Noah over the past week. His behaviors are consistent with a child who has experienced significant trauma and instability. However, they're not unusual for his background, and they're certainly not unmanageable with proper support and understanding." "And has Mr. Blackwood sought such support?" "No, Your Honor. When I suggested family therapy and attachment-focused parenting classes, Mr. Blackwood indicated his schedule wouldn't permit such commitments." The judge's expression hardened slightly. "I see. And Noah, has he expressed his feelings about this situation?" All eyes turned to the small boy, who seemed to shrink further into himself. Sophia gently encouraged him to stand. "Noah, would you like to tell the court how you feel about living with Mr. Blackwood?" Noah stood, but kept his eyes fixed on his backpack. When he spoke, his voice was barely audible. "I tried to be good. I tried to follow all the rules. But there are so many rules and they keep changing and I can't. Speak up," Alex said sharply, earning a warning look from his attorney. Noah's hands trembled. "I'm sorry I'm not the right kind of son. I'm sorry I can't be fixed." The word "fixed" hung in the air like an accusation. Judge Santos leaned forward. "Noah, you don't need to be fixed. You're not broken." "Yes, I am," Noah whispered. "That's why my real mom left. That's why the other families sent me back. That's why Mr. Blackwood doesn't want me either." Alex shifted uncomfortably. "Your Honor, this is exactly the kind of emotional manipulation dash." "Mr. Blackwood," Judge Santos cut him off, "I suggest you choose your next words very carefully." Catherine O'Neill stood again. "Your Honor, if I may. New Hope Adoption Services opposes this dissolution. We believe Mr. Blackwood entered into this adoption without proper preparation or commitment. Noah needs stability and understanding, not another rejection." "He needs someone who can handle him," Alex insisted. "Someone with the time and resources to deal with his issues." Judge Santos picked up a file from her desk, not the one containing the current case documents, but an older one, its edges worn with time. "Mr. Blackwood," she said slowly, "before we proceed, there's something you should know about Noah. Something that wasn't in the adoption file because it predates New Hope's involvement." She opened the file, studying its contents with an expression that made everyone in the courtroom lean forward. "Noah," she said gently, "would you please show everyone what's in your backpack? The thing you carry everywhere, that you've been holding onto so tightly." Noah hesitated, looking to Sophia for reassurance. When she nodded, he slowly unzipped the bag and pulled out a battered teddy bear. Its fur was worn almost bare in places, and one eye had been replaced with a different colored button. "And where did you get that bear, Noah?" "I've always had it," he said softly. "It's the only thing I got to keep. From before." Judge Santos nodded, then turned to Alex. "Mr. Blackwood, that bear was given to Noah by his birth mother, the day she left him at Mercy Hospital. She was 16 years old, scared, and alone. She wrapped him in her own sweater, left him with this bear, and walked away believing she was giving him his best chance." Alex frowned. "I don't see how this is relevant to Dash." "The girl's name," Judge Santos continued, her voice gaining strength, "was Angela Martinez. She was a junior at Roosevelt High School, and exactly 1 month after leaving her baby, she died in a car accident with her parents." The judge stood, lifting another paper from the old file. "But before she died, she wrote this letter to her son. A letter that's been waiting in this file for 8 years, until he was old enough to understand." The courtroom had gone completely still. Even Alex seemed frozen, something flickering across his face: recognition, disbelief, growing horror. "Angela Martinez," Judge Santos said clearly, "was your sister, Mr. Blackwood. Or more accurately, Angela Blackwood, the sister you and your family disowned when she became pregnant at 16. The sister whose name you haven't spoken in 8 years. Which makes Noah." But Alex wasn't listening anymore. He was staring at Noah, really seeing him for the first time. The dark eyes that mirrored his sister's. The slight tilt of his chin that everyone always said was a Blackwood trait. The way he held himself, protective and proud even in his fear, just like Angela had in those final months before they turned their backs on her. That's not possible," he whispered. "We were told the baby died. Our parents said." "Your parents," Judge Santos said quietly, "made arrangements they thought were best for the family's reputation. They never expected you to try to adopt years later, never imagined you might unknowingly choose your own nephew." The silence in the courtroom was absolute. Noah clutched his bear, his mother's last gift, while the uncle who had been trying to return him struggled to breathe. But this was only the beginning. The real story, the one that would change both their lives forever, was about to unfold. The court clerk had to open windows to dispel the heaviness that had settled in the air. Judge Elena Santos watched as Alex Blackwood struggled to maintain his composed facade, but the businessman's hands trembled as he reached for the water glass in front of him. "Your Honor," Rachel Martinez, Alex's attorney, finally broke the silence. "We request a brief recess to Dash." "No," Alex interrupted, his voice rough. "No more delays. I need to see that letter." Judge Santos nodded to her clerk, who carefully removed the aged envelope from the file. This was left with Sister Margaret at Mercy Hospital, along with specific instructions that it be kept until Noah was old enough to understand its contents. Alex received the letter as if it might burn him. The handwriting on the envelope was unmistakably Angela's, the same elegant script she'd used to leave notes in his lunch bag when they were younger, before everything fell apart. "Read it," Noah said suddenly, his voice stronger than it had been all morning. "Please." Alex unfolded the pages with unsteady fingers and began to read. "My dearest baby boy. Asterisk, by the time you read this, you'll be old enough to wonder why I left you, why I chose this path for both of us. The truth is both simple and complicated, like most important things in life. Asterisk. I was 16 when I found out about you. Our family, the Blackwoods, have always cared more about appearance than reality. When I told them about you, they gave me two choices: end the pregnancy or end my place in the family. But I found a third option. I chose you, and I chose to give you a chance at a life unburdened by our family's rigid expectations. Asterisk. Your Uncle Alex was different once. He was my protector, my best friend. He taught me to ride a bike, helped me with math homework, chased away the monsters under my bed. But sometimes the scariest monsters aren't under beds, they're in boardrooms and country clubs, wearing expensive suits and passing judgment. Asterisk. I'm leaving you my favorite teddy bear, Mr. Patches. He got me through every hard night, and I hope he'll do the same for you. There's a secret in his left ear, a tiny pocket I sewed in. Inside is a silver locket with our picture. I want you to have a piece of me, even if we can't be together. Asterisk. I don't know what life has in store for you, my sweet boy, but I know this: you are loved. You are wanted. You are perfect exactly as you are. Don't let anyone try to fix what isn't broken. Asterisk. Maybe someday, the Blackwoods will remember what family really means. Maybe they'll find you and make amends. But if they don't, know that my last act as your mother was one of love, fierce, unconditional love that no family name or fortune could ever match. Asterisk. Forever your mother. Angela. Noah's hand went immediately to his bear's left ear, fingers finding the tiny seam he'd never noticed before. With Sophia's help, he carefully extracted a tarnished silver locket. Inside was a photo of a beautiful teenage girl with dark eyes just like his, her smile bright and defiant. Alex stared at the photo, memories flooding back. Angela at 14, performing in the school play while their parents complained about her theatrical tendencies. Angela at 15, winning the state science fair with a project about renewable energy, only to be told that Blackwood women don't pursue such unfeminine interests. Angela at 16, standing in his office at the family company, tears streaming down her face as she begged him to support her, to stand up to their parents. And he had failed her. Had chosen the family legacy over his baby sister. "I remember that day at the hospital," Sister Margaret's voice cut through his thoughts. The elderly nun had been called in as a witness but had remained silent until now. Angela was so brave, but her heart was breaking. "She asked me to watch over you, Noah, until she could figure out a way to come back for you. She never got that chance." "The accident," Alex said hoarsely. "Was it really an accident?" Sister Margaret's eyes filled with tears. Angela was driving to the hospital that night. She decided to come back for Noah, to fight for him. The roads were icy. Catherine O'Neill, the adoption agency's attorney, cleared her throat. "Your Honor, in light of these revelations, New Hope Adoption Services would like to amend our position. We believe No." Noah's voice rang out clear and firm. Everyone turned to look at the small boy who suddenly seemed older than his 8 years. "No more people deciding things about me. I want to say something." Judge Santos smiled gently. "The court recognizes Noah Wilson, or should I say, Noah Blackwood." Noah stood, still clutching Mr. Patches and the locket. "My mom said I was perfect exactly as I am. But Mr. Blackwood, Uncle Alex, he wants to send me back because I'm not perfect enough. I hide food because in my other foster homes, sometimes they forgot to feed us. I don't sleep in my room because in one home, the big kids would come in at night and steal my things. I pulled the fire alarm at the office because I heard 2 men talking about selling company secrets, but nobody would listen to me." Alex's head snapped up. "What men? When? Last Tuesday. They were in the blue conference room. One man said he had proof of something called insider trading and wanted money to keep quiet. Rachel Martinez was already pulling out her phone, stepping away to make an urgent call. Alex stared at his nephew with dawning understanding. "You were trying to protect the company," he said softly. "Just like Angela would have." Noah lifted his chin. "Mom's letter says family means something. But I don't think you know what that is yet. So maybe you're the one who needs fixing. Not me." The wisdom in those words seemed to echo through the courtroom. Judge Santos leaned forward, her expression thoughtful. "Mr. Blackwood, would you like to respond to your nephew's observations?" Alex stood slowly, his earlier arrogance replaced by something more vulnerable. "Noah is right. I've spent so long trying to live up to the Blackwood name that I forgot what Angela always knew, that names mean nothing without the love to back them up." He turned to face Noah directly. "I failed your mother when she needed me most. I've spent 8 years trying not to think about her, trying to be the son our parents wanted instead of the brother she deserved. And when you came into my life, I did exactly what they would have done, tried to mold you into something you're not, then rejected you when you wouldn't conform." "Pretty messed up," Noah commented, earning a few muffled chuckles from the gallery. "Yes," Alex agreed, a ghost of a smile touching his lips. "Pretty messed up. But maybe it's not too late to learn what family really means. If you're willing to help teach me." Noah considered this, looking down at his mother's picture in the locket. "You'd have to learn a lot. Like how to make chocolate chip pancakes for dinner sometimes. And that it's okay if my socks don't match. And that hiding snacks doesn't mean I'm bad, it means I'm scared." "I can learn those things," Alex said. "And maybe you could learn some things too, like how to use your amazing observation skills to help the company instead of pulling fire alarms. And how to trust that I won't let anyone steal from you, ever again." Judge Santos cleared her throat. "While this is a promising start, I can't simply dismiss the dissolution petition without ensuring proper support systems are in place. I'm ordering mandatory family therapy, parenting classes for Mr. Blackwood, and regular check-ins with Ms. Chen for the next year." She fixed Alex with a stern look. "And Mr. Blackwood, I expect significant changes in how you balance your work and family responsibilities. Noah needs an uncle, not a CEO." "Yes, Your Honor," Alex said quietly. "I'm beginning to understand that." But as the court prepared to adjourn, Sister Margaret stepped forward. "There's one more thing. Something else Angela left behind. Something I've been keeping safe until the right moment." She opened her large handbag and removed a thick manila envelope. Angela's journal. She documented everything: her hopes for Noah, her memories of growing up Blackwood, her dreams for the future. She wanted Noah to know not just why she left, but who she was. Who he comes from. As Sister Margaret handed the envelope to Judge Santos, the afternoon sun broke through the courthouse windows, casting long shadows across the floor. In those shadows, Alex could almost see his sister, 16 and fierce, choosing love over legacy, writing letters to a son she'd never get to raise. The real test was just beginning. The journey from broken family to healing household would require more than good intentions. But as Noah tentatively moved closer to his uncle, still clutching Mr. Patches and his mother's locket, something shifted in the air, a weight lifting, a door opening, a chance for redemption. 6 months after the courtroom revelation, Alex Blackwood sat in his home office, Angela's journal open before him. He'd been reading it piece by piece, each entry both a gift and a wound. Tonight's page was from her last month alive. Asterisk, "Dear baby boy, today I felt you kick during physics class. Right in the middle of a lesson about Newton's third law, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Maybe that's why the Blackwoods couldn't accept you. Their action was to push us away, but they never expected the reaction, that in choosing you, I would find a strength they never knew I had. Asterisk. Uncle Alex." Noah's voice pulled him from the past. The boy stood in the doorway, pajamas adorned with microscopes and test tubes, a testament to his newly discovered passion for science. "Hey, buddy. Everything okay? Can't sleep. Grandma and Grandpa are coming tomorrow." Alex understood the anxiety. Tomorrow would be the first time his parents would meet Noah, their grandson, since the truth had come out. Victoria and Richard Blackwood had spent 6 months avoiding this moment, but Judge Santos's final hearing was approaching, and they could no longer hide behind their wall of denial. "Come here." Alex patted the leather sofa beside his desk. Noah curled up there, Mr. Patches clutched to his chest. The bear looked different now, professionally cleaned and repaired, but with his mismatched button eye left intentionally unchanged. "Want to hear something your mom wrote about her first science fair?" Alex offered. When Noah nodded, he found the entry. Won first place today. Created a solar-powered water purification system. Mom and Dad didn't come, said science fairs weren't appropriate for a Blackwood daughter. But Alex was there. He brought me ice cream after and said someday I'd change the world. Maybe I won't change the whole world, but I hope I can change one person's world, yours, my baby. She was smart, Noah said proudly. Like me. Exactly like you. Alex smiled, remembering how Noah's observation of the corporate espionage attempt had led to the arrest of 2 executives planning to sell company secrets. She would have loved seeing you in the lab at work yesterday. After months of therapy and parenting classes, Alex had learned to blend his 2 worlds. Noah now had a special workspace in Blackwood Technologies' research department, where he could experiment safely under the guidance of Dr. Sarah Chen, Sophia's sister and the company's lead researcher, who had taken him under her wing. "What if they don't like me?" Noah asked quietly. "What if they think I'm not good enough to be a Blackwood?" Alex closed Angela's journal and turned fully to his nephew. "Then they'll be making the same mistake they made with your mom. But here's the difference. This time, they don't get to decide. You're my boy now, and nothing they say can change that." The transformation in Alex over the past 6 months had surprised everyone, perhaps himself most of all. The rigid CEO had learned to leave work early for therapy sessions, to handle board meetings via video call so he could attend Noah's science club presentations. He'd converted his minimalist penthouse into a home with space for experiments, messy art projects, and yes, occasionally mismatched socks. The next morning, Victoria and Richard Blackwood arrived precisely on time, their luxury car gleaming in the driveway. Alex met them at the door, Noah slightly behind him. Victoria spoke first, her voice tight. "Alexander, surely there's a more discreet way to handle this situation. The family name Dash is carried by an 8-year-old boy who deserves to know his grandparents," Alex cut her off. "If you can't accept that, you can leave now." Richard's face darkened. "Now see here, Dash." "No, you see here." Alex's voice was quiet but firm. "For 30 years, I let you dictate what matters. Image. Status. The almighty Blackwood legacy. It cost me my sister. It almost cost me my nephew. I won't let it cost anything more." Noah stepped forward then, wearing his best clothes but with his ever-present Mr. Patches tucked under one arm. "I have something to show you. If you want to see." Despite themselves, Victoria and Richard followed Noah to his lab, the converted dining room now filled with science equipment, college-level textbooks, and a wall of photos. At the center was Angela's senior portrait next to a recent picture of Noah in the same pose, their matching smiles unmistakable. "Mom won the state science fair when she was 15, Noah said proudly. "I'm entering this year. Want to see my project?" Before his grandparents could respond, Noah launched into an explanation of his solar-powered water filtration system, an advanced version of Angela's original design. As he spoke, his natural brilliance shone through, his enthusiasm infectious. Victoria sank into a chair, her perfect posture crumbling. "He sounds just like her," she whispered. "He is her," Alex said softly. "All the parts of her you tried to suppress, the intelligence, the creativity, the pure joy of discovery. They're alive in him." Richard stood examining the project specifications. "These calculations, they're university level." "He's been accepted into the gifted program at Princeton Academy," Alex said. "Their youngest student ever. But he'll attend part-time because we agreed he needs balance, time to just be a kid too." "We?" Victoria asked. "Noah and I. We make decisions together now. I've learned that being a parent, or an uncle, isn't about controlling, it's about guiding." Angela knew that, even at 16. Noah pulled out his mother's locket. "Want to see her? I mean, how she looked when she was having me." Victoria's hands trembled as she took the locket. The photo inside, Angela's defiant smile, her hands protectively over her pregnant belly, broke something in the elegant woman's facade. Tears slipped down her cheeks. "We were wrong," she said, her voice cracking. "So terribly wrong." Richard moved to protest, but Victoria held up her hand. "No, Richard. Look at him. Look at our grandson. We lost our daughter because we couldn't accept who she was. I won't lose him too." The afternoon unfolded with stories, real stories, not the sanitized versions the Blackwoods had told for years. Noah learned about his mother's first words, her childhood adventures, the light she brought to every room. Victoria and Richard learned about their grandson's rescue of the company, his brilliant mind, his growing confidence. As evening approached, Judge Santos arrived for the final home evaluation. She found a transformed household, Noah demonstrating his science project to his grandparents while Alex prepared dinner, somewhat chaotically but with genuine enthusiasm. "Quite a change from 6 months ago," she observed. Alex nodded, watching Noah explain molecular structures to Victoria, who was actually listening. "We're learning together. About family, about what matters. About how to honor Angela's memory by loving her son the way she would have. And the adoption dissolution? I'd like to withdraw it completely," Alex said firmly, "and file for permanent adoption instead. But with a modification. I want Noah to be able to take his mother's name if he chooses. To be Noah Blackwood Martinez." Judge Santos smiled. "I think Angela would have liked that." Later that night, after the grandparents had left with promises to attend Noah's science fair, after Judge Santos had given her final approval, Alex found Noah in the lab, writing in a journal of his own. "What are you working on, buddy?" Noah looked up, his mother's smile bright on his face. "A letter. Like Mom wrote to me. But this one's for her. Want to hear it?" Alex sat down beside him, heart full. "Of course. Dear Mom. Uncle Alex says you can't read this, but maybe science will figure out a way someday. I want you to know that your letter worked. I never forgot I was loved. Mr. Patches kept me safe until I found my real home, right where you hoped I would. Uncle Alex is different now. He makes weird pancakes and lets me build robots in the dining room and says I'm perfect, just like you did. Grandma and Grandpa are trying too. They're learning that being a Blackwood isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. I'm going to win the science fair with your project idea. But better. Because that's what family means, taking the best parts of each other and making them grow. I miss you. But I'm not alone anymore. And neither is Uncle Alex. We fixed each other, even though we weren't broken. Love. Your son, Noah Blackwood Martinez. Alex hugged his nephew close, feeling Angela's presence in the warmth between them. Outside, the city lights twinkled like stars, and somewhere, a sister's love had finally found its way home. In the years that followed, the Blackwood name came to mean something different in the business world. Under Alex and Noah's influence, Blackwood Technologies became a leader in educational access and scientific innovation. The Angela Martinez Memorial Scholarship helped pregnant teens finish their education, and the company's daycare center was renowned for its STEM programs for toddlers. Noah did win that science fair, and many more. But his greatest victory was the family he built, not despite their broken pieces, but because of them. Because sometimes, as Angela had written in her final journal entry, love doesn't need fixing. It just needs room to grow. And in a corner office at Blackwood Technologies, a teddy bear with mismatched eyes sat beside a family photo. 3 generations of Blackwoods, finally learning to measure success not by perfection, but by love. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.